Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Life of a Goddess. I am so excited to be here tonight. I am with some amazing biker babes tonight. They are dear friends of mine. I'm so happy and excited to share their stories with you. Remember, Athena's is for everybody, all different walks of life. People you may not think are into this business are here with us and joined Athena. So that's what I love about this company. And that's why I'm here every single week to share different stories with you from amazing goddesses and Adonises all over the country. So tonight I am super excited. I have Jessica Strang, who I have known for half, if not most of my life. We went to school together. We are from the same place. And it was so great to see her join Athena's and then, see my journey. Because as you all know, I came from a different background where I was bullied and I wasn't the most popular. And here at Athena's, I am popular. I am that person that I've always dreamed to be. So I love that. So welcome Jessica Strang with us. And then we have the amazing and beautiful Misty Fontaine with us. These two ladies love the motorcycle. They love the vibration. They they just love bike rallies and they do biker events. And I am so excited to have you ladies here tonight. I'm wearing my leather and lace just for you, ladies.
Hello, hello.
Yay.
You
So,
look
hi,
stout.
welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I love it. Check out Misty's headband, y'all. So I'm gonna start off with you, Jessica. Um, how long have you been a goddess with Athena's Home Novelties?
July will make 4 years, and it's actually my second time around.
Oh, I love it. You gave it a second chance, and
Yep.
that's amazing. And Misty, how about you? How long have you been a goddess with Athena?
Just over 4 years. I came in right before the January meeting, actually 4 years ago.
Wow. And you gotta love it because you're still here. Yes,
Yeah.
you are. What I love is Jessica. You said that this is your second time around.
Yep.
The first time may not work out for everybody, and they can come back and try again and
Right.
succeed. And Jess, I watched you succeed and hit some amazing goals through 2020, through this crazy pandemic. And Misty, I watched an emotional moment with you in 2021 recently, or 2022 actually, January's meeting when you got to try your keys. And that was amazing, right? Hello. And Jess, you had 10 keys, right, girl?
Yep.
Yeah. And those keys open what?
$10,000.
$10,000 treasure box.
Right? $10,000. Holy shit, that's life changing, right? So if you ever thought about joining Athena's, come and get those keys, my friend. You have a chance to win $10,000. Um, so Jess, can I ask you why you joined Athena's?
I actually joined Athena's because the first time I had joined Athena's, I left the company not on my terms. I didn't have a supportive partner. And that has a lot to do with success. I think that your partner at least has to understand why you want to try this business and do this business. And my partner wasn't supportive and kind of strong-armed me to leave the company. And I was doing great. And I had always said that if I ever had the chance, I'd come back. And life happens, and I got divorced and I got a new partner. And he was like, you always talk about it, so go for it. So I, on a whim, I just said, that's it, I'm joining.
Going back. I'm coming back. I
Yep.
love that. It is so very important to have a partner who understands your goals and your dreams and wants to be there beside you to fulfill them. That is very important in this business because without that, you have nobody cheering you on. You have nobody supporting you, which makes it harder for you to want to even go try to reach those goals. I am blessed to have a partner who loves what I do and how much joy it brings to me, and has seen me use Athena's as my therapy. So I love that. Love, love, love that you came back and you are succeeding, my friend. I love it. Misty, hey girl. So
Hi, go
what
ahead.
made you join Athena's 4 years ago?
I was a solid customer for quite some time. And I'm talking about before I met my husband, and we've been together almost 14 years. And
Wow.
when we walked into our relationship, I'm like, listen, I do co-ed parties, I do them with Venus, like it or leave. Like that was pretty much what I did. One of the parties that I had, it was in a smaller apartment, not in my house, and I was doing half the party for her. Like she would demo the items, and then I would be in the kitchen demoing the items. So she pulled me through the end of the thing, and she goes, Misty, she goes, I have to tell you, you did half the job and I'm getting full pay. And it happened to be $1,000 party for her. And she was freedom like I am. She didn't carry stock. So luckily the host that was having the party was my sister. So she didn't mind me being in the ordering room with her to like do the final details and stuff.
Right.
And the person who brought me into the company, she goes, look, I just want to show you this. And she turned the computer around, and she'd made like $400 talking about
Yes.
sex toys. So I proceeded to start looking at my husband, and we had no budge in the budget. Like there was barely a book in our budget. So I started talking to my then boyfriend, because we just started seeing each other and we were newly married. And well, kind of. We always said we were married, but really weren't. Anyway, that's babbling. That's another story. So I looked at him, I said, I kind of want to start trying to do this. I'm like, it seems like it could be fun. I think I could do okay with it. He's like, sure, fine, whatever. He's like, whatever you need, whatever you need. So it became to put a little bit more butt in the budget. And
Yup.
then it became to get out of the house and get away from my husband and get away from my kids and
I
find
love
me
it.
there.
I love it. That's what I love. When I joined Athena's, it was because I was in the house depressed. I was going through a bad time in my life, and I was tired of staring at the same four walls and being home with the same people I'm with every single solitary hour of the day. So I totally, totally get that. And that's what I love about this company, is that you can schedule to your conveniences. Like you're your own boss. You make your own schedule here. You don't have to do this or have to do that. Nobody ties you down. You do have you they say quota, I say it's a respectable minimum
Right.
Yes,
requirement. It
an
is
easy
not
minimum.
unattainable like some other companies that, they're just unrealistic. We are realistic here. And I love, love, love that you just shared that, because that's another reason why it's important to have your partner's approval, because you're going to do better things when you have someone behind you supporting you, or behind you. Hey, that's what we all about here at Athena's. Um, all right, with that being said, Jessica, hey girl, hey. So Jess, you've known me a long time. You've seen me, okay, the Gadonis. You've seen me at my worst.
And I
And
saw you at your highest high, honey, and it was the best moment of my life. It
and
was one of the best things I could have ever witnessed.
because Jess, if you're viewing, Jess has known me. We were in school together. We were in chorus together. I was the one that was bullied, or I was gay. I was more feminine I was really quite feminine. And I was different from a lot of people. I was even picked on by my own brother. Like, and Jess always stood up for me and stuff. So I have to thank her for that. Now look at us. We're older, past those high school days, and we're still friends, and
Yep.
we're still here for each other. And I love, love, love that, because when I first saw you here at Athena's and you spoke to me, and you were like, oh my God, I'm so impressed, and your
Mhm.
mom was impressed and things like that, seeing me succeed.
Mhm.
Um, the
Well, yeah,
biggest joy of my life was Goddess of the Year 2021. And I was able to do a video about that. So a lot of people, if you're watching and you are that person who was bullied or whatever, this is the place for you because nobody here judges you. They just want to see you happy. They want to see you succeed and they're there for you. Right, Misty? We are there for each other.
Yeah, you
And
are.
a quick
We're
little
so
story about
complimentary.
that with Misty is Misty was in a quite a bad motorcycle accident through this pandemic, right?
Yep, last year,
And
August 13th.
Athena's came together and did a raffle to make sure that Misty was able to pay her mortgage. And you know
Yep.
how important it is 2 months of your mortgage. That's important. You have children. You even if something bad happens, you still have your everyday lifestyle you have to live. So I am so blessed that Athena's does come together
Hmm.
for our family. And that's what we do. It could be you, Jessica, or it could be me. We'd all still come together and figure it out. And that's what's amazing. And people
Absolutely.
don't see that here at Athena's. They see us selling, they see us recruiting. They don't
Mhm.
see our personal
Family.
connections and that family feeling we have exactly. So,
Yep.
Misty, with that being said, how did that feel to get, that moment Jen called you and said, we got your back?
Unreal. I was in Rhode Island Hospital by myself. My husband was already at the rehab facility. And she had found out, because I think I posted something on my Facebook, I can't remember what it was, about us getting into the accident. We had gone out for our 10th wedding anniversary just to have, some mommy, non-mommy daddy time. That was just us. That Josh and I always do. We call it wind therapy. And
Mm-hmm.
she called, well, she never calls. Usually she's like an I am, hey, how you doing kind of person. And she called me up and I was like, oh, Athena's is calling me. Why? I'm like, I don't have a supply order. And she's like, hey, Misty. She's like, it's Jen. I was like, oh, hey, what's up? She's like, I'm calling you to let you know that I'm not asking for permission. I need a good picture of you and Josh. I was like, okay. She goes, I found out about the accident. She goes, I saw it up on Facebook. She goes, we rally around each other, which I knew between like the Ellie's baby butter and everything else. I knew this company supports
Their
One
own.
another.
everybody. Like it's not a, oh, well, I know you and I know you. It's once you're in your family.
Hmm.
And I said, well, why do you need a picture of my husband and I? I'm like, that's completely random. She goes, we're rallying behind you. She goes, the September meeting. She goes, that's your raffle. And I remember being hooked up to all the machines still, crying the ugly cry, feeling that I have someone who's going to look out for me, even though like I'm not a top seller. I'm not a top 10 person. When I tell you I do this part-time, I do this part-time, like 2 parties a month. Don't get me wrong. I do, roughly good at my parties when I actually get a chance to get them done. Right now, I'm not doing any of them, but I'm not like Jess who does the events. I'm not like Brett who does, the Gadonis. And I like being in my parties, but I like being behind in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And to know that everybody rallied together and everybody turned around. They're like, no, you're not just gonna, oh yeah, I got into an accident, leave me alone, bye. It was everybody saying, no, we see you and we're here to help you.
Mhm.
It was, I'm never speechless. And I was literally speechless. I hung up the phone with her, ugly crying. The nurses came running into the room because my blood pressure and everything was just going like berserk. They thought something was wrong with my heart because all the beeping
Right.
that I was doing. And then I proceed to call my husband in tears and letting him know that this is what Jen's doing. Like she wasn't asking for an okay. I'm doing this for you. I remember the September meeting going on. I remember her saying the bottom line. And again, I'm in Rhode Island Hospital. I spent almost 2 months straight in Rhode Island Hospital with my
Yes.
injury. And I remember just breaking down in tears. No beeping this time because I wasn't hooked up to the monitors. And I always swore that I'm only going to go live for my parties. I'm only going to go live to my $1,000 parties. I'm going to sing that song and call it a day. And I went live in the group after the party, just saying thank you, ugly crying all, nasty, ugly green Johnny, crying and saying thank you because the total was literally 2 months of my mortgage. I did not have to worry about paying for I will catch up on gas. I will catch up on electric. I will catch up on Verizon and cable and this and that and the other. My credit card can go pound tar. I needed, like, as a mom, you need to make sure that your kids are taken care of, and to know that this company was not only taking care of me, but taking care of my children was awesome.
Oh,
Beyond
I
awesome.
love that. I love that. And what you just said was that you're not a top goddess. You're not this, you're a part-time goddess. That's what Athena's is about, is the equality. Every goddess is special. Every goddess is part of the family. Every Adonis is part of the family. And every Goddess is part of the family. And you know what? That's what makes us unique and special and stand out from other companies. We are here for one another and we've got each other's back. And I'm so glad that you were able to take that money and keep a roof over your children's head during such a trying time. Look at you, got me emotional, okay? And that's not easy, okay? Because I'm not a crier. I'm more
I
of
have
a
my makeup
crier.
on, so therefore I'm trying not to cry. So if you see me looking up, I'm just gonna look into my lamp so it
Yeah,
stops me
I keep
from.
thinking my mascara's running, but then I say, thank God I used waterproof. Um, so Jess, has there ever been anything that Athena's has done for you that like stood out, like from other things you've ever, anything that you've ever been in? Has there been anything Athena's done for you?
Well, I think my biggest thing with Athena's, honestly, is when I made the decision to join this company, the first time I joined, I was obviously a really good customer, and I had bought so much that my goddess was like, just become a distributor, because the minimum requirement is what you buy from me. So like, you know what I mean? But then when I joined the second time, the reason I chose Athena's over any other company that I could have gone into business for myself was because it's everybody. It's all different walks of life. Everybody's so different. But my biggest thing was that Jen, the owner, obviously, she knows your name. She knows your story. She knows your kid's name. She knows your husband. She knows, like, like she just knows like, if you're going through a rough time, if you're going through a divorce, we rally. If you're going through even former goddesses, like there was a former goddess, and I don't remember, but like her house had burnt down and we put out an APB and everybody was collecting stuff. And it's like, if you, and not to drop names, but with other companies, their head person is not going to know your name.
No, you're absolutely right.
They're not going to care who your kids are. It's so different. And and we tell people this, when they're thinking about going into business for themselves and stuff. And it's almost like they don't believe you until they join and they see it, because they have to see it and they have to feel it for themselves, because it's so hard to explain as a goddess. Like, I came back my first 2 years, I was kind of like, I was like part-time, just kind of, making my way through. There was a couple of 6-month periods that I only did my minimum. And I had started, when I came back in 2018, I came out with a vengeance, because in my first 100 days, I sold $4,500 and I won a trip to Mexico.
Whoa.
Like, Athena's was the reason I had to get a passport. I never, like, I was 40 years old and I had never had any reason to ever get a passport, and neither did my husband. And I won a trip to Mexico, and here we are, like, we're getting passports, and I'm like, holy crap. And
I remember that traveling with Athena's is so incredible, because I had never had a passport either. And I was, reaching, actually I was 40 and I hadn't had a passport. I hadn't gone anywhere, and Athena's gave us a trip and an opportunity. And like you said, you won that. How you would never have won that had you not joined.
I wasn't even going to go to that meeting. I almost didn't win that trip, because I was going through a lot of personal stuff. And this is a pure example of, okay, so this is something that Athena's did for me. This is actually, it leads up to this. So this is perfect. I'm glad you brought that up. because I was going through so much personal stuff at the time of the January meeting that I was not going to go. Like, we didn't really have it in the budget. We were going through a lot of personal stuff. And I was just like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to go, da, da, da. And my team leader called me on Wednesday. And the January meeting was on Saturday. And she said, it was the year that Jen had decided to pull all the names out of people that weren't going out of all the raffles, because she didn't want to have to pick names of people that weren't there. Because of course you want to be there in person to win. And my team leader called me from the home office and she said, you need to go to the meeting on Saturday. She says, do you realize how many raffle tickets Jen and I just had to pull out that have your name on them? And I was like, I don't know, like, what, so much stuff. And she's like, I don't want to hear it. I said, yeah, but I didn't get a ticket. The deadline's done. I was making all kinds of excuses, and that's all they were. They were just stupid excuses. And she was like, no, I don't want to hear your excuses. You're going to drive to Newport on Saturday morning, and you're going to find Robin, and you're going to pay her for the meeting, and you're going to the meeting. And we were sitting there and we were going through the meeting. And that was, I think that was the meeting I actually met Misty, because she was sitting behind me or on the side of me. Okay. And Jen pulled my ticket and she was like, oh my God. And as soon as she said, oh my God, Jeff knew that I had won, but I was still like, just like, la, 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 like, you know, this whole big ticket, like, you know, and like, she was like, this person wasn't gonna come today. And my heart sank right into my stomach. And I was like, holy crap. And I ended up winning.
That is a sign.
Yeah. So my thing was, had it been like any other company or where a team leader doesn't really like keep up with you, like my team leader didn't have to call me that Wednesday.
Nope.
And like, do you know how many tickets we pulled out with your name on it? Like, you need to be here. Like, she didn't have to do that, but for whatever reason, the universe had her call me, and I was like, all right, I'm coming. You know, I had that kind of like,
you went and you won a trip to Mexico.
Exactly. So that's the kind of camaraderie we have. Like, everybody looks out for each other and different things. And
we're happy, genuinely happy for those who earn and win.
Exactly. There's, you know, that's the other thing. Like, you don't have to be a top seller. You don't have to be, you know, you don't have to be at the top of what people would consider the ladder, because there is no ladder in Athena's. We're all equals. We all work our business the way that we feel we need to work our business. And whatever successes we have, we celebrate everybody's successes.
Yes, no matter how big or small they are.
Right.
And even the people at the top of the ladder will turn around and pull you up to make sure that you're doing the best of your ability. Nobody here is ever going to be like, oh, well, she's down there, whatever.
Yeah.
That's not us.
You literally can message any of the top goddesses with questions at any time, and they will answer you. They will give you info. There's no, oh, they're not
always going to be there.
Or, right. It's like, they don't look down on you. It's not that, oh, you're not my team. It's never a question. And it's always, they always end the conversation with, no problem, I'm here anytime. You know,
let me know. Out. I do the same thing.
You know, so I mean, I've done it. I've reached out to different, you know, top people, depending on what their strength is, if it's something that I'm looking for, because everybody has their strengths. Yep. You know, and nobody ever feels like it's like an inconvenience to be asked.
No.
It was so great to find my strength doing Quarantine Queen for 100 episodes. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize I had any strength in going virtual or going live, because I never did that before. It was a total new stepping out of my comfort zone. And then it took me 8 years to achieve this, but you know what? It's because you never give up. So this could be anybody, as long as you keep going and you try. And that's all you can do. You're never going to have perfect months. You're never going to have nothing is perfect. But the one thing that I can say is perfect here at Athena's is the friendships, the camaraderie, and the family atmosphere that we do bring to everybody who walks in our doors.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
if there's anybody watching who ever thought about joining Athena's or, you know, hesitated or anything, listen, because if you look back on any Life of a Goddess, you're going to hear different stories about this. And it's life changing if you let it. And I've watched it change so many lives. I cried for you, Misty, January of this year when you stood up out of your wheelchair and walked up to that treasure box and put your keys in there.
When I
That
rolled up,
is, you rolled up in there, but you got up and you stood up and you did it. And you know what?
I wasn't able to stand at those times.
No. So that
strictly the
strength that Athena's brings to us is way, way, way hard to explain. I've never had this much strength in my life. Like, I've never felt strong. I never felt confident, but now I do. And it's not because I'm Goddess of the Year. It's because Athena's allowed me to find my strength and find what I'm good at and find where I belong. And I watched that happen for you all. And that's why I invited you on my show, is to hear your stories and to show people that don't be scared, because we're not going to hold you hostage. It's a risk-free trial. I mean, it's
Yeah.
$30. You get that back and then some in free product, right? So you have
Yep.
nothing to lose. And you're joining an amazing family. If anything, hit your minimum with your discount, right? And these could be your best friends. These could be your circle. Jess, you came to a party recently that was at my home, and you
Yes.
just felt the love as soon as you walked in the door. Not anybody could just have 25 people at their house, you know, that they work with and don't want to kill them. So, I mean, it's
Nope.
pretty cool. It's such a pretty cool experience here at Athena's. And I've watched so many things happen. And I've
Mhm.
watched so many people come and go. But the people who stay are the people who are invested in love this family.
Yeah. And they love this business. And it's not the business of selling that they love. It's what we actually do for people that they fall in love with.
It's
Yeah.
what the company represents: self-care, self-love,
Yep.
happiness, bringing people together. You know,
Mhm.
you've been in a marriage, you're married. Misty, you're married. And what happens in marriages is things get a little stale here and there because it's just part of it. It's part of the ups and downs. It's how you get through
Mhm.
them. But Athena's has really helped in
Yeah.
so many levels, hitting goals, finding the confidence. That helps so much in your relationships. Have you noticed that?
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
So with that being said, yeah, what is your favorite memory that you have made here at Athena's, Jess?
Oh boy, my favorite memory.
And I know there's a lot. You've been here 4 years.
There I don't. Oh boy, favorite memory.
You've got the favorite memory that moves you and touches your heart, and then you've got the favorite memory that you just can't help but laugh at. So it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so use both of them. Tell me.
All
Tell
right.
me.
So I have to say that one of my one of my favorite, like, it's actually like a whole thing, is my trips with Athena's. Like, those are some of my favorite memories because they're with some of my favorite people. They're to places I've never been. And they're just unbelievable. And the things that you experience on Athena's trips are just magical.
Yes, I've traveled with Athena's. The magic is there.
Yeah. And
There's nothing like an Athena's vacation. And
there
the
is
fact that we are allowed to win these vacations or
Yep.
that we are even allowed to go on them is incredible. Am I right?
It is. It's unbelievable. And there's there's so much magic that happens in that week that you're on vacation, like between the people in the company and and like for Jeff and I, like Jeff drives truck all week and we've got the kids and I'm like a stress bucket. So like a week away from home and the walls, and it does, some good for the relationship too. Like those
It
vacations,
sure does, baby. It sure does.
they are needed, so I would have to say that's like one grouping. And then probably I would have to say that two of, and it has to be two because they're so equal. My emotional memories with this company have been, because I have such a personal connection to Misty, because we have hit it off, like because we have so much in common and we're very much
Sure
wired.
do. Yes, I love
Way,
it.
We didn't plan this, by the way. The shirts were not planned.
No,
We did
this
not
was not
know
like
what
we
were
did not
doing.
plan outfits. Like this is like our thing.
And I
So,
love it. They're wearing the same necklace. They're wearing the same shirt.
I would have to say it was after the accident and having her be able to go to the January meeting and having her go up to the table and try to unlock the box and hearing Katie Amaro yell, "Just give it to her," has got to be like one of the craziest emotional memories of my life.
Yes.
And then that night, of course, like, and I'm not a crier. Like I'm a badass bitch. Like I don't cry. And like,
Yes.
it's like waterworks. And then that night at the party, knowing you from when we were 15 years old and you being the awkward kid that sang soprano in chorus and you were the only
Right.
boy in the soprano section, and and you were awkward and you didn't know who you like quite who you were yet and where you belonged, and being that like I was part of the group that stuck up for you in high school. And then like I had heard over the years, that you had done like your hairdressing business and stuff like that. And then I had heard that you were an Adonis with Athena's at the time and then became Queen Bee, the Godonis, which is unbelievable. But seeing you in the almost 4 years I've been with the company, to see that you finally found where you belong, and then watching you fight your social anxiety through quarantine by doing all of the lives on Facebook, because I know how hard that is for you, us having the personal connection and knowing each other.
Yes.
And then when Jen called your name, like when that video started and I had seen it all come to a complete head, I was like, this is amazing. And it's because in honesty, those are two of the most emotional, because I have emotional connections to both of you.
Oh, yeah.
So of course it like my heart was in it. You know what I mean? So it was like I was there, like I couldn't believe it. Like I was like, this is. And then when you got up on stage and you said your first words were exactly what you told me a couple weeks prior to that you were going to say, when you said, I'm going to get up there and I'm going to say, you like me, you really, really like
Really
me.
like me. I had my Sally Field moment.
And I've got like black eyeliner and mascara going down my face because I won't pay for waterproof. And,
I'm good.
I'm laughing because he's up there going, you like me, you really do. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I love him. Like it was just amazing to me to see from where we came from as kids to what you've accomplished. It's amazing. And I love that I can be in this company and share those things with the people that I've gotten close to, so it's, like I said, those for me were really emotional memories for me because my heart has got real estate in those people, not that my heart doesn't have real estate in other people, but because we have such personal connections outside of the company, it made it that it was just like it was
Well, I
unbelievable.
definitely have to say that I definitely found my place. Definitely. Like, I can't imagine my life without this place anymore, you know?
Mhm.
All right, so you made me cry again.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'm an easy crier lately, okay? It's just all that stress and emotions of life lately, you know? And
You
it's
know,
very easy to cry, okay?
I'm
So
premenopausal.
um so Misty, uh, wasn't that nice to be part of her favorite memories?
Yes, and she's stuck with me no matter whether she wants to or not. I know where she lives, so.
Yes, I can see you guys doing biker events like in the future together and stuff. I
And
can just see it.
Yeah,
it
well, the
sucks.
next time we have one planned, please don't get in an accident.
You know what? Talk
Before
to
with
the guy in the list. It wasn't my plan. I have the boots. I still have the shirt. I still,
you know,
I'm
you would
annoyed that we're
cut
going to be
off the
missing the
boots.
rally.
You're like, damn it, I might not make bike week this year, but next year when I'm there with her, I'll wear them damn boots.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. So Misty, do you have any amazing memories that touched you or that you is your favorite memory from Athena?
So besides the one that Jess said, my husband doesn't cry. I think in the 13, 14 years we've been together, I've seen him
I
tear
have a
up.
husband that doesn't cry either.
He is and Jess will tell you, he's the epitome of like strong and silent. He's the
Yep.
one word text message man, the whole 9 yards. And after wheeling over to the treasure box and trying the keys and having everybody scream my name and having Jen cry and just trying to take a breath, and she just, the way she looked at me, and I can't even look at the pictures. People were sending me pictures. I can't even look at the pictures without crying. To feel the love and have that was just amazing. That's one of my tearful cries, my tearful moments. That and the Athena's Cup. If anybody was
I
ever
was
involved
gonna
in the
say
Athena's Cup.
that's where I connected with you and your husband was doing the Guinness Book of World Records bra chain, which was not easy. Definitely
The
was not an
Athena's
easy task.
500. I used to call it the Athena's 500 because all I did was take left-hand turns
Yes, she
for
did.
126 miles. Left-hand
Listen,
turns.
I was in the tent stringing bras together. I didn't have to do all that exercise up there. I would have had a heart attack.
Yep. Yep. I did do some of the exercise. I did do some of the connecting. I did do some of the running around. I connected bras in the thing. So I
Yeah.
get it.
a
And it was
proud
nice
hooker.
that I was
Do
able to
you
connect
know
with
how that
you.
was done? My daughter, both my girls were at that. My husband was there, the whole family. We had to pry that button off my daughter's school bag because she wanted to wear the fact that she was a proud hooker to school. And here I am, a 37-year-old mom trying to explain to my preteen child, no, honey,
No,
like
you
things have
cannot
more
wear a
complicated.
pin.
And I don't need a call from the principal going, why is your daughter calling herself a hooker?
It was tough.
At least she's proud.
Oh, I would have thought it was Trinity.
No, Tasha. Trinity wasn't in school yet. That was
Oh,
pre-pandemic.
okay.
You know what? You know what? At least she's a proud hooker.
She
There you
is. But that, like, that whole Athena's
That
Cup was just like
experience was very
was-
rewarding.
yes, it was. And to help and see Jen accomplish that was huge because she always makes sure that you are going to achieve your goals. So anything that I could have done to help her achieve her goal was definitely
right.
up there in my
Exactly.
list. But
So if you are watching this, we are Athena's Home Novelties is in the Guinness Book of World Records
yes,
for the
Mhm.
world's longest bra chain to
the fun,
help with breast cancer awareness.
the fun
So
fact for that is 126 miles. If you were to lay the broad chain one against the other in one straight line, it would hit from Woonsocket, where the broad chain started, all the way through Rhode Island, all the way through Massachusetts, all the way up the Cape to P-Town.
humongous. It was so much. But you know what? I've been with this company for 8 years, so I have been collecting bras for a long time. And it's really nice to see that that was met. That goal was met. It was beautiful.
Want to know
It's
what's
still weird though that people are still throwing their bras at me.
well, it's just weird though to think about it. And Misty, you probably too, before we were goddesses and we were hosting parties, we were donating bras.
Bras, yes.
So
Yes.
I
like,
still throw my own bras in the line.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like to think about it, it's like, holy crap. Like I could
Yep.
like grab in a box that has like my old bras in it. It was the
I
weirdest.
was taking them off in the line in the field because as we were putting them together, they would snap and we would need a bra to replace the one that snapped. So I would sit there, thank God I have big dizzies, and I would take my bra off and replace the one that broke and just keep going.
Yeah, we
go,
don't.
girl. Now that's commitment, my friends. That is commitment or contentment. Contentment. So with that, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience about your journey with Athena's?
The BBWs.
Yep.
Whether you go live, which I prefer to go, or whether you do virtual, which I've had to do in some interesting places.
Yep.
No, there was a time that Jess, did I have you on Facebook at that point? I think you said something. One of the May BBW from the year before the pandemic hit, I was in Myrtle Beach at a bar listening to my BBW, trying to, you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I remember that.
The bar that I was at was called Suck Bang Blow.
Yep.
Standing next to my father-in-law with the magnetic attraction in my pants because my husband thought it was going to be funny.
Oh, so that made a whole difference.
The BBWs can be done anywhere, and you learn and you get so much from them.
And
Absolutely.
you feel the purple Kool-Aid energy every single time. And if you're lucky like me, you just stand in the Brett spot and you can win.
Hey, listen, you need to start sharing with other people, please.
Okay, I'm just gonna stand in the Brett spot.
No, you need to go sit back in your seat.
Okay. So with that, thank you. Anything you'd like to share, Jeff?
I would just have to say to take in any education stuff that they offer, like as far as the WOW webinars, the Just the Tip series, BBWs, anything, it's all going to help. There's going to be pieces and parts. And in my journey, because I've had it both sides, really make sure you talk to your partner about what you want to do.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest suggestion. I would say don't hesitate and join, but you also want to communicate, because depending on how successful you want to be, like my husband has to understand that there are going to be weekends where I'm going to be gone Friday night, Saturday night. Mm-hmm. There are events that I do. So I'm a huge event goddess in the hot rod, with hot rods and with bikes, more so hot rods right now, and tattoo conventions. And those are 3 or 4 day events. Am I still there? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Still here. I'm lucky enough that my husband is with me.
Yes.
And he likes to help. And
we love Jeff.
Yeah. And a lot of times, my son Damien comes with us, and he's my muscle. He's 17 now, so I don't have to really hide it from him. He knows what his mom does. Right. So like one of my goals 2 years ago, I was at the January meeting. It was January 2020. It was right before the pandemic hit. And my biggest goal was, I looked at my mom was at that meeting, and I looked at my mom and I looked at Jeff, and I said, in 2 years, people are going to know who I am. They're going to know my name.
Yep.
In 2020 was really rough because of the pandemic, but in 2021, I started setting goals. I started working with Steve, and I made my business a family affair, like I wanted to, where it was events could be done as a family. And I hit top 20 in sales 3 times during a time when we still were not doing live parties,
Uh-huh.
which is huge because we
It's
still
huge.
weren't going to people's houses, so
I
yeah,
love it. So anything is possible if you work for it.
absolutely. Do the work. Like,
It's worth it. It is so worth it. When you
it
look
is.
at when you leave a party, right, ladies? I'm going to ask you this. When you leave a party, okay, and you're leaving a party with $400 that you just made in 3 hours, right? How many people can say that they're making that, you're not a stripper, you're not a, like it's, it's
Nope.
not often you're making a full-time paycheck in a weekend.
I make more doing $1,000 party than I do at my big girl job in a week. To the point where my big girl job, I call it the big girl job because it
It's the 5 day a
it's 9
week.
to
Yep.
5, it's the Monday through Friday, it's the socially acceptable big girl job.
Yep.
Mhm.
My boss found out what I was doing on the side and he asked me how much I made. And I happened to be where I had a party Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I did $3,000 in sales. And I walked home with, do the math, like over $1,200. And he looked at me and goes, you do plan on staying like here, right? Like you don't plan on like leaving because you're making money? No, it's not. So.
No.
And I did the April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, I did the New England Tattoo Convention at Mohegan Sun. And I made what my husband makes. So I made Jeff Sweek's paycheck in 3 days.
Yep.
And he works 65 hours a week driving a dump trailer. And I
Yep.
made his pay in 3 days.
I come home, my husband works 50, 60 hours a week. And when I come home after having like a full scheduled weekend of parties, and then I say, this is how much I made, and he's just in shock because it's more than what he made for the 50,
Mhm.
60 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do this, and every party is a success. No matter what, it's a
Right.
success. You left with more. You left that party with more than you walked in with. That's a
Exactly.
success.
Absolutely.
And it all depends on the people you do it with. I've had good successful parties with 3 people where I've got my demo in the middle of the floor and we all just sit there and hold conversation and talk.
And yeah, pass the product, talk about it, and blah, blah, blah. Yep.
Yeah, and it's more intimate that way. And then you have the party that's like 15, 20 people, couples. I love doing couples parties where you are literally helping them out, realizing that what they like really isn't that, it isn't, oh my God, there's other
Yeah, it's
people
not
that
as
like the same
different.
thing you do.
Right.
Yes, I was just gonna say it's not any different than what we already like. Like we
Right.
share what we like, we share with others, and we don't judge. That's the biggest thing. We never judge. Another person's yuck is always someone else's yum.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing is too, with this business, it doesn't matter if it's 2 or 3 people or if it's 20 people, like Misty was saying, because I've been able to recoup hostesses. Like you go to a hostess
Yep.
for a party and she's expecting 10 people and all of a sudden like everybody flaked on her at the last minute and she's got 3 people and you're like, no big
We
deal.
got this.
Like,
We
let's
got
get around
this.
the coffee table and like, we'll just have a personal shopping experience. I think,
Experience, exactly.
and this particular hostess ended up like feeling so good because she really was so bummed.
Yep. And you
so
made her night just by changing that negative to a positive.
Absolutely. And it ended up being over a $500 party because it was really intimate and they got to ask a lot of questions and all of that. So
Amen.
I know 3 hostess that's like that. Her first party she had with me, 12 people RSVP'd, 3 people besides herself showed up, and we legit sat on the floor, did the whole thing.
Mhm.
I did a party for her the following year. I did the party for her the following year. I did a party for her the following year.
Yep.
I got into the accident. She let me know, when can you start doing parties? I'm like, well, I kind of have a couple of weeks here and there when I can start walking, but I have to go back under the knife. She's like, book me for May 13th. I want a party. I'm like, all right, but you're gonna have to help like carry my demo upstairs, like, cause she's on a second floor. She's like, don't worry about it. She's like, I will go downstairs. I'll grab your table. I'll grab your demo. She's like, don't worry about it. She's like, I got you. And she
Oh my God,
refuses.
I love
She
that. Love, love,
refuses
love
to
that.
have a party with anybody else because she herself, she's like,
And
I love you.
that's
too, but
important.
nobody
That's
else.
important. That's the longevity of this
Mhm.
is I also have my yearly, every year, every 6 month hostesses that I've had for 7 years, 5 years, you know, they always book with you because they remember you. You're leaving a lasting impression.
Yep.
Yep.
Speaking of lasting impressions, we are going to talk about Beauty with B. And we are going to talk about one of my favorite products. And I'm sure it's you ladies must have products, especially when you're on the back of that motorcycle with that vibration and that wind blowing. And you're in your leather chaps or your jeans or whatever, and it's warm out there, right? This is our Happy Sack. We also have it in Breast Friends, which is a cream for the ladies, right? This is our Happy Sack. It is great for any time you're feeling a little too sweaty or you're feeling like you're going to get a heat rash or the things are starting to stick to the legs or, just
Bat wings.
sticky anywhere you go. Your thighs are chafing together. It's about ready to start a fire down there. That's a
Mhm.
problem. This is the product. It is a tapioca-based product, goes on as a lotion, will dry as a powder. This is a spring, summer, fall must-have. Okay, any warm weather, this is a must-have. You're going to use it under the breast. You're going to use it between the thighs. You're going to use it between the butt cheeks for swaths. This product is everything. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you ladies, why do you love this product so much, especially being motorcycle mamas on the back of the bike, vroom, vroom, right? And it gets hot. You are all dressed up. You got your helmets and your leather gear on, and I'm sure it's warm.
Well, I personally, when I ride, I don't wear shorts. It doesn't matter if it's 95 degrees out or if it's not. Back when I was younger, I ended up burning my leg on the muffler of the
Ooh.
bike. So I always wear full jeans, boots, doesn't matter how warm it is. I'm always geared. That and God forbid anything happens, you want something between you and the pavement.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so so the Happy Sack is awesome for chub rub, and my number one thing that I use it for, I personally use the Happy Sack because I like that it's unscented.
Yep.
Personally, when my boots
And you're getting more in the tube
yes, and
for the same price.
Jeff and I can share it. So
Yep.
Lord knows he's using it all the time. But I actually like it under the fupa.
Yes.
Because when you're a fluffy girl and it's summertime, you sweat in all kinds of places that you shouldn't be sweating.
Like
and
I like to say, make sure you're using this in all your nooks and crannies.
Exactly. Yeah. And I've had so many clients that are like, oh, well, I use deodorant and this and that. It's like, oh, don't use deodorant, especially if it's an antiperspirant with the aluminum and all that stuff. Like this is all natural. It's unscented. So if you wear body sprays and stuff like that, it's not an issue. And it really does. Good Lord, what is going on with this thing? All right. It really does help with all the sweating. But yeah, under the boobs and fupa, hands down. Best
It
product.
is everything. Yes.
It's everything.
It's the
Misty,
heat
you
on the
got
back
some
of the
tips?
bike. The heat. When you're on the back of the bike, or even my husband, who like I can't swear, but I ride bitch. I don't ride my own yet. I keep tossing back with the idea, but my husband, I'm always in back of him. But even he says the heat that comes off the motor that you just get in between those legs, the swalls and the swass is unbelievable.
Oh, it's awful.
And he is like, I sell more of that stuff because of my husband than I do myself.
Amen. Amen. Hands down. Amen.
He can walk into his job and sell a case for me, and all I got to do is go, okay.
Yep.
My husband also sells this product for me because he works outside. He delivers packages in the heat and There's no air conditioning in those trucks. There's no, you know what I'm saying? There's no AC in those trucks. It is just straight up heat. And
Have,
he swears by this before work, during work, any moment he needs to reapply. You just keep this with you.
Yep.
so have any of your customers come up with other names for that yet?
No, why? Do you have some?
So
Jeff-
I work
Jeff's- Jeff's
my
boss all cream.
my big girl job is through a delivery company, the big brown house, as we like to call it. So I have a lot of drivers who, like your husband, work outside. So I have a gentleman who calls that the ball bag butter.
Ball bag butter.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh, well, it's gonna keep them fresh and dry with your ball bag butter.
Love it.
You know what else? It's also great. It's gonna keep your titties dry for your titty butter. Titty butter.
Yeah. And honestly, any wives or female partners that are watching that have partners that work outside in the
But
summer,
like hooker in church.
that, that their
Sweat like a hooker in church.
well, here's the thing. A lot of guys use powder.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no woman on earth that wants their man to come home and have baked a loaf of bread in their freaking pants while they were at work because the powder and the sweat and
Yes,
Ugh.
yes, I know the clumping. Yes, baby.
Ugh.
You will
You know-
not get that with dry guys or
No,
happy sack.
no, you need to get him happy sack. Once you can convert them and they use it, they'll never go back to anything else.
Just buy it
Amen.
for them and give it to them instead of the powder, and they'll just say, okay, yes, dear. Yes, dear.
So if you're watching this and you would love to get your partner or yourself some dry, happy sack
you-
or breast
if you have-
friends, guess
if you
what?
have-
Check out my website in the link below. Yes. And you can check out all our other amazing products from the spa to the boudoir. You know, the things that I don't get to talk about too much. Check it out there, my friends. Remember, like, subscribe, and share. Okay, make your queen bee a superstar. Yes. I want to thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. Thank you, Jess and Misty.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate you taking time out of your night and joining us to share your stories. And this one was a little emotional for me. Okay, so I want to thank you for, you know, sharing because that's what this is all about. This life of a Godonis is sharing that every walk of life can do this, and every person has a different story on why they do it and why they're still here. And that is my goal with this. So I thank you so much. Remember, check out my Facebook page at Brett Palmer Halverson or Athena's by Queen Bee, or pop on this YouTube and check out my other shows. Yes. And thank you again, ladies. I appreciate you so much.
You're welcome.
And I hope everybody who watching has a blessed night. Remember, I love you, and I will see you next week on Tuesday. Yay. Mwah.
Oh, we lost them.
Did we lose him?
I think we lost them.
I still have a blinking recording thing. Do you?
Me too.
All right, this is too funny because this was not planned.
No. And the sad part is I almost wore my Harley Davidson tank top. That was from one of the Carolinas, and it has the Harley Davidson emblem with the wings and everything else. I was like, nah, I'll put this one on instead.
That's so funny.
Hi. I'm back.
Hi, honey. We still have the record.
Why is that still
You are not. I'm the host now. Okay.
No, let's not. It's great. Now Life of a Godonis is gonna have bloopers.
This is not Okay, so I would like to figure out why I'm still recording.